Hey guys, it's Jonathan with jwallphotography.com, and today I get to take you into the pit for a photo shoot with real big fish. I was doing this photo shoot for Music and Mayhem, and they allowed me to take my GoPro, put it on top of my camera, and show you guys my settings. And I'm just kind of making my way around and just trying to get this shot. You'll notice I don't take a lot of photos. I try to make sure the photos I take matter. So you can see I'm already up to ISO 4000 on this, so we're pretty hot on the ISO, and I'm just kind of looking around and seeing what I can find. One thing I have to say about Real Big Fish, they have more mic stands on the stage than anyone I have ever seen, so I was always looking for opportunities to shoot through mic stands to get a good look without cutting up faces and guitar necks and stuff like that. So whenever, for instance, whenever the lead singer just now jumped back from the mic stand, it was a great opportunity to take a photo of that. So I did so. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of let you know what I'm doing as I do it. So again, I'm looking for different angles that might not have a mic stand. A lot of times I'll just look through the viewfinder and see what it has without even taking a picture. Between the monitors and the mic stands, it was very difficult to get a clear shot of something that looked nice. But I did manage to get some nice photos out of this. So I'm always looking at the other photographers whenever I'm in the pit and the security to make sure I'm not running into people. And I don't know if you can tell, but right there I just pointed that I'm going this direction because you can't hear each other whenever you're in the pit. It's extremely loud. You got your earplugs in, and you just kind of got to go with it. But showing people or tapping them on the shoulder saying, hey, I'm going this way, is a great way to make sure you don't run into people and hurt anybody's gear or make anybody mad. The number one thing you want to do whenever you're in the pit is make sure that you're being respectful to the security, because they're there to keep you safe and to keep the band safe and the fans safe. And you want to be respectful to the other photographers because they're in there just trying to do exactly what you're doing. So as you'll notice, I try to stay away from other photographers. You can see the other photographers here. There's only 2 other photographers shooting the show, but the other ones were down at the end, and I try to come to this because I don't want similar shots to anybody else. And as I look down here, I'm essentially chimping to make sure that I'm getting the right exposure, because some of these settings are kind of difficult, having to shoot so slow. That one was just 1/25th at ISO 4000, and whenever you're spinning like that, you can see there's a movement in the feet, but it's better to have a shot with a little bit of movement and emotion in it than no shot at all on it. So again, I'm just looking around, looking for directions, possibly somewhere to go. And whenever there's a right-handed guitarist, I like to be on the left side of them, like facing them. I like to be on their right. And whenever there's a left-handed guitarist, I like to be on the left side of them. That way I can see the face of the guitar. And right there you can see I'm peeking my head up trying to get over the stage. This stage is probably 5.5 feet tall, so it's a monster of a stage, but just got to peek up over it and try to get a shot without the monitors in it. And sometimes I can do that, sometimes I can't. And I do go into live mode sometimes, trying to see, you know, what the shot would look like from a higher angle or a lower angle or something like that. So I always make sure to do that. You can see everybody going crazy. It's a good time. And now I took the second that he jumped back and started dancing around, I took that opportunity to get a shot of him. And then I realized I hadn't got any shots of this guy on the end yet, so I'm going to start working my way down that way soon. Again, it's so hard to get a shot without a mic stand cutting their face in half, but you got to capture the experience. You just got to do what you got to do. Sometimes that's what you get, and you got to go with it. So he stepped away from the mic stand. That's the first time I saw him step away, so I figured I might as well get it. I want to get the whole band in a shot. Step back on a step right there a little bit to get higher. Trying to get a shot lined up, but wasn't too lucky on that one. And again, I don't motor drive this. I don't take a whole bunch of shots. I try to just take the shots that I need and try to look for a different angle. I will turn it a lot and see what it looks like, see the composition, and see what type of exposure and stuff I'm looking at. And if it's not where I want it, I'm not going to waste the shutter clicks on it. I'm not going to shoot and accidentally hope I get something awesome. I'm going to make sure I get the shots that I want. See, like for instance, I like that shot because it stood up above the stage, and then at the time I couldn't tell it, but it was actually a pretty good shot. See him jumping back there, and I notice my exposure is actually off for him jumping, so I'm hoping that he's going to do it again, and I believe he does, but I don't have it vertical at the time. He runs down there, does the solo, and then comes back. Luckily, this guy is all over the place. And it's kind of hard for them. They have to have the microphones because, I mean, they're using brass instruments on a lot of it. It gets right up in there and boom, you got to get that shot whenever they give you a little bit of camera love. And I do use continuous focus on all this. That way I can pretty much constantly be holding down the back button focus until it is until I'm ready to take the shot. Then I let go and shoot. Again, I'm just looking around trying to find a shot that looks creative, and I see him jumping again, and pop. I got it, and I just cropped it sideways so I didn't have an arm hanging out of there. And you can see they really can't move away from the mics much because they got to get back so quick. So I mean, it's just one of those things. Depending on what band and what instruments you have, there's going to be people on the stage that are just more. They're just better for photos. So obviously, I want to get a lot of the lead singer. I want to get a lot of the trombone player since he's moving around. He's dressed in a leopard jacket. He obviously wants to be seen. And a lot of the trumpet player who's got the awesome mustache going on. Obviously, I want my photos to be interesting. And again, here I point around and go around. And now I'm changing to my 70-200 lens. So that way I can get a little bit closer. I realized I've got about all I can get with this lens, and I want to get some creative angles using the 70-200. I believe at this point everybody in the pit was using like a 24-70 or a 100 or something along that lines. Look how many people are there. This place was packed. It was just completely huge. They were playing with Anti-Flag, Ballyhoo, and Direct Hit, but I'd only gotten permission from Real Big Fish, the headliner, to actually shoot, so I didn't want to press my luck and get kicked out. Another thing too, I did clear it with security, and I showed the emails from the media company that had me do this prior to ever pulling out a GoPro camera. That's a real quick way to get kicked out of a pit. Don't put a GoPro on your camera unless you have permission, because a lot of people don't like filmed, but I do have written permission to record this, so be sure to note that. And a lot of people ask me what the things are on the end of my camera. Those are actually glow-in-the-dark bracelets. Some of my friends that are paranormal hunters and stuff like that, and I actually use those because I'll light them up before I go in using just the lamp in my car, and then whenever I go in, they glow in the dark, and I can see which lens I'm grabbing in the dark. But they don't put off so much light that they're distracting. So that's neat. It's just a really quick way to kind of help me on my time whenever I'm going through and trying to do stuff quickly and changing lenses. Again, you only get 3 songs typically, so you want to make the best of it and use that. And sometimes you want to change lenses and stuff like that. This is a pretty narrow pit, and whenever you get 2 big guys in the pit, getting around people is sometimes difficult. One thing I didn't count on whenever I was shooting towards the drummer at that point is at the 70-200 range, he's actually hidden behind the drums from the lens perspective. From the GoPro, he's not. So that's one thing I had to worry about there, so I only got a couple shots of him altogether. And then sometimes the 70 was a little too close to capture the moment, like him doing that, I don't know, that movement with the trombone would have been neat, but he was just behind that. Check out that ginger beard. And then, yeah, just try to fill up some of the spots. And then right about here, I am done. I hear the third time coming to an end. I get out of the pit. I'm not going to wait around. So I got some shots from the outside of the venue so I could get the whole band with their banner. I always want to make sure to get those. But anyway, hopefully you saw that and you enjoyed some of the settings and seeing that. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to see more. Have a good one.